I knew him when he had long hair. And Sheriff Lott has been a friend of the people for quite some time now, and participated with Joe Neal and I in television work about racial profiling databases in 2001. And Richland County's taking the lead on that, and the sheriff is taking a little bit of time out from campaigning for his, how many terms?
6 times.
His 6th term, obviously, as Richland County Sheriff. So let's hear it for Leon Lott.
The problem with all that data is nobody really looks at it. Half the agencies don't turn it in, and it's not enough data. Back in '99 and 2000, when we were looking at racial profiling and just being transparent and creating a citizen advisory council, on our own, we require every deputy that when they stop somebody, they have to call in the stop, the location where they stopped them, and why they stopped them. And when they get through with the stop, they have to give the age, the race, and what they did. So we had the whole picture. And then our dispatcher takes that, and through computers we all got, they send it to us, and we're able to put on a sheet, so we have each officer's name, and we have what they do. But we have somebody go look at it. It just doesn't sit there like the state data does, and nobody pays attention to it. We have supervisors who look at it, and we check our officers. One will check and see, okay, is this officer working in just a Latino community? And is he stopping, who he stopping? Is he in a white community? Is he in an African American community? You have to look at what community they're working in to determine the stops. And then you can look and see, okay, well, they're stopping just one race, one sex. And we actually identified an officer, that was a traffic officer, that was stopping Hispanic females. And we saw that there was a problem with that. So we started pulling his tapes and looked at his tapes, and we found out that he was profiling Hispanic females, and we actually had him on tape assaulting one. We didn't just terminate him, we arrested him. He needed to be arrested for what he did. So we arrested him for assault, and then he was also terminated. And from what we were doing in '99 and 2000, and it was so successful with us, that's when Representative Joe Neal and Brett got together and said, okay, we need to do this statewide. And they started off pattern and modeling off after what we were doing, but by the time it got passed, it was so watered down, it's basically ineffective. And probably one of the most glaring things that made it ineffective is people were not forced to do it. We had so many agencies who just didn't turn that information in. Well, why isn't there some penalty for not doing it? There wasn't. It just hadn't been one. So the law that passed in 2005, in effect 2006, it really hasn't been effective. Joe Neal, Representative Joe Neal, who's the Richland County representative and one of my close friends, we're starting back again trying to do something to tighten it up, require agencies to do it, but give us more information. If you're just doing it for just people who've got a warning ticket, what about those people that you stop that you don't give a warning ticket to, or did you give an actual ticket to? Where's the data on them? So you're not getting the data on everybody who's stopped, and that's what you need. You need it on everybody that's stopped, not just a snapshot of a few people that you stopped, but everybody that you stopped. And then have an example. You have to look at it, and you have to look at what they're doing, why they're doing it. And then when you do that, you'll be able to determine if you have racial profiling. That is the only way that you're going to be able to stop it. We go through the education part of it for our deputies. If they know that we're not going to tolerate anything like that, and that you will be arrested and be terminated if you do stuff like that, then they have it in their mind that they can't do it. But if their agency allows it, or doesn't care, or doesn't check, then the officers, there's going to be some officers who will get out there and do it. There's no doubt that they can do that. There's some that just will do that. So you have to start at the agency's head and want to put the word out, this is not going to be tolerated in our agency. One of the things that we did to help do that is with our Citizens Advisory Council, where we have citizens, 27 citizens that represent the diverse communities that we have in Richland County. We've had for 16 years. And they come in and they look at all of our internal affairs complaints, they look at all our police shootings, they look at all our policy procedures, they look at every single thing we do. They're written in our standard operating policy procedures where it's written, this is what they're allowed to do. Everybody knows they're part of the sheriff's department. They have a voice in the sheriff's department, which is the voice of the citizens of Richland County. I can't talk to all 500,000 residents of Richland County, but I can talk to their representatives who represent their communities. And they can see what we do. And they see what we do in real life, real time. Not 6 months, 10 months, a year later, they see it as it happens. If we have a shooting, they're getting information as soon as I'm getting information on the shooting, they're getting information on it, so they're able to take it back to the communities and let the communities know what actually happened. They sit on our hind board. When you go through to be a deputy, one of your last things you do is go for an interview board. There's 5 deputies and 2 representatives from the Citizens Advisory Council, and each one has an equal vote. We want the citizens to see everything we do. The agencies that hide the information is the agencies that are doing something wrong. If you're not doing anything wrong, there's absolutely no reason to be open and honest and transparent with every single thing that we do, as you do. And that's what we do in Richland County. And I get criticized for it. And I get criticized for it by other sheriffs and other chiefs who don't believe in it. They don't believe in collecting the data for racial profiles. They don't believe in having a Citizens Advisory Council. They're totally against it. Senator Kempson from Charleston and Senator John Scott from Richland County introduced 2 bills in the current session we're in now. One bill was for SLED to have a Citizens Advisory Council. Another bill was for agencies over 300,000 to have a Citizens Advisory Council. That got shot down immediately by the Sheriff's Association and other law enforcement association because the sheriffs and chiefs said, we don't want the citizens to have oversight of what we're doing. That is, to me, is absolutely ludicrous and crazy, and I'm ostracized by my fellow sheriffs because I believe in that. I ain't changing, okay? I'm not. And Brett and I have talked, and he knows actually what happened. 3 years ago, I was elected as to be the president of the Sacramento Sheriff's Association, and I was to take office this July, so I've been president for 15 and 16. Well, after Senator Kempson introduced his bill of Citizens Advisory Council, the Sheriff's Association had a special meeting where they voted me out to be the sheriff. So they didn't believe in what I was doing, what I was saying, so I'm not going to be the president, so I can't help you out there. But I am going to be your voice to speak loud and clear and publicly that we need to do something about the problems that we've got in our communities with our law enforcement doing the wrong thing. We need the citizens to help us police the police. That's what we need to do. And when we do the right thing, we don't have to worry about it. And by working together, we can do that. So the racial profiling bill is not going to go anywhere this year. Hopefully by next year we'll be able to strengthen it and make it stronger and make it be effective like it needs to be. But what you're doing is a start. Because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have anything. Now, we're doing what we're doing because it's the right thing to do. But without you, you wouldn't go to Spartanburg, you wouldn't go to Greenville, you wouldn't go to these other agencies and asking them the hard questions. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing because the good cops don't mind it one bit. So thank you.